Hello, how are you doing? My name is Anthony Gray. Welcome to Grayscale. Another one-on-one with you. This time I think I'll chat about color. Hopefully there's a lot of newcomers to the world of art and painting. Um, those who aren't very sure about different types of color or what some of those tones and shades and tints and what those terms actually mean. I'll try to break it down and keep it as simple as possible so the average layman, i.e. you, and sometimes me, can really understand them. Alright? Um, let's start with the basic colors, your primary colors. Primary colors are colors that cannot be mixed to achieve that color. Alright? There's only three. Yellow, blue, and red. Yellow, blue, and red. Those are the three colors you cannot mix to achieve those colors. But if you mix any of those two colors together, you will get your secondary colors. Alright? Which would be violet or purple, orange, alright, and green. Follow me? So, your primary colors, blue, red, and yellow. Your secondary colors, orange, green, and violet. In between those six colors, you get all the other colors in between. Your red, orange, your yellow, orange, your blue, greens, and etc. Alright? So that's how you achieve all those colors. And what I'm going to show you now is a very helpful tool. I used to have quite a few of these, especially in my college days, and I threw them away because I was an idiot. I wasn't really a painter, and I dealt more with black and white art, and I felt I didn't need to utilize them, and how wrong I was. Here I am a little bit later on in life. I'm a painter, and that color wheel really could have helped. And I'm referring to one of these, the color wheel. Alright, I bought this at Michael's, about $10, $11. These are awesome. These are great. Okay. Each side turns. Alright. Both sides turn. And it helps you achieve whatever shade, tint, or tone of color that you're looking for. Alright. I myself, I primarily only use 5 colors myself. I don't really consider black or white, quote unquote, a color. They're both neutralizing agents for your other colors. Alright, either you can bring out a color or you can subdue a color with either black or white. But we will get on with that much later. Let's go to a few terms and let's go through a few terms that will confuse even some seasoned artists. Okay, I know I was really confused by them. Okay, obviously, color is actually described by the tone, the intensity of whatever shade that you're dealing with. Okay, hue, H-U-E, hue, that actually really describes the color. Green, red, blue, yellow, orange. Hue. Alright. The value. The value determines the lightness or the darkness of said color. That's the value. Okay, you know, you got your warm and your cool colors. The value. Alright. Intensity, or the saturation, or chroma. Okay. That's the strength of said color. Alright, the purity of the color. Alright, is it a true orange, true blue, you know, stuff like that. Okay. Here's three that's crazy, and I'll try to explain these to you. Tint, shade, all right, and neutral colors. All right. A tint, all right. A tint is whatever color you choose, add white, which will give you your tint. Any color you choose, add white, they will give you a tint of said color. All right. Shade, any color you choose, add black to that color. It gives you a shade, right? Well, think about outside, you go under a tree, shade, right? How can you tell? Because of the darker color underneath the tree or the building or whatever. Yes? Shade. So the tint is any color, add white. Shade, any color you choose, add black. All right, it will deepen or darken the color, obviously. All right, neutral colors. Neutral colors is a type of color that anything matches. Okay, excuse me, my cat opened the door on me because she wants to be nosy. Neutral colors can subdue whatever color. All right, or it just blends well with whatever color you choose to use. For instance, obviously the major neutral color would be gray. You gray anything down. If you gray down your whole color palette, whatever you choose to use, if you do a landscape or a seascape scene, it may end up looking a lot more realistic than using just pure intense color. Okay, just gray it down using the colors opposite. Alright, we'll get to that in a second. But that will be a neutral color. The natural neutral color obviously would be a mixture of black and white. Now, can you only use black and white to achieve gray? No. If you use a color's complement, you can usually get a form of gray, whether it be on the red side, the blue side, the purplish side, the orange or brownish side. You can usually get a varying shade of gray, which will be a neutral toning down color of whatever colors you choose to use on the opposite complementary side. All right. So there's a few of the let's go with warm and cool colors. Warm colors, obviously, is colors that are a little brighter, and they give you a feel of warmth, all in the head and what your eyes perceive. Any kind of reds, orange, yellow, colors like that. Any color mixed with white. I gotta shut that door. She'll come back in a second. Those are warming colors. Alright. Colors that are a little on the cool side. Violet. Shades of green. Blue. Alright. Cool colors. Anything really associated with winter. Warm colors. Anything associated with warmth, heat, the sun. Alright. So it's best to associate that type of blend with those. Now, can some cool colors be warm? Yeah. Different shades and tints of blue and green can do it. Can some reds or warm colors be cooler? Yeah, reds, oranges, different shades and tints of those said colors can be a little on the cooler side, yet still be considered a warm color. All right. That's getting like really deep into it and all that. Okay, I just want to try to give you the basics and some of the terms that could help you out in your paintings. Let's see what else we got here. The tertiary colors I've already explained in the beginning. All right, that would be your orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, red, that type of thing. Those are your 6 tertiary colors, the primary and the secondary colors. All right, I went through the hue, value, intensity, tint, tone, and all of that stuff. that was first that earlier on in the tape, about 8 minutes ago. Okie dokie. How about let's do the harmonious color schemes. Okay, harmonious color scheme. Colors that are closely related to each other. Okay, it gives you not such a clashing, gaudy sense of a mix in whatever picture you want to do or painting you want to do. All right, we'll go with the first one, monochromatic. I've posted a few paintings that feature monochromatic color scheme. That is varying shades and tints of the same color plus white. All right. I should have brought an example. I have none, not on me, of what a monochromatic picture is. I do have something pretty close, but I'm not going to show it because it's not truly monochromatic. But it's a full picture, only using one color, just varying shades and tints of that color, obviously plus white. All right, that's a monochromatic picture. It can be on the cool side, on the warm side, black and white. All right, or shades of gray. Okay, that would be your monochromatic scheme. All right. I like this one, the analogous colors. These are cool. Analogous colors are using colors close beside each other on the color wheel. For instance, let's try, I'll look at one here. Let's go red. Alright, now on one side of red could be orange, on the other side will be violet. But with that red, let's mix those two together. So you got red violet or red orange. But your main color is red. So on the cooler side you got red violet. On the warmer side, red orange. But you're only using those three colors. That's it for your painting. Try it out. It looks wonderful. Alright, you can use varying shades and tints of those three colors, but you must only use those three colors. Alright, now let's say if you wanted to use orange. Alright, on one side of the orange is yellow, the other side is obviously red. So you got red orange or an orangish yellow. Alright, that will make an incredibly warm picture. Probably great for a beach scene or whatever. Okay, analogous colors, three colors that are very close to each other on the color wheel. Alright, what's the next one? Oh, complementary. Complementary color scale can be kind of tough if you're just using two colors on the opposite end of the color wheel. But it can be done. I personally, if I was going to do one of those, I would use a yellow and a purple. Alright, think of Easter. Alright, yellow and a purple and the varying shades in between the yellow and the purple, which would get a complementary grayish version of either color. Okay, but it's just using two colors. Obviously plus your white, which is a neutral. Alright, that would be a complementary color scheme. Split complementary. Okay, now a split complementary color will be using any color with the two colors on each side of its complement. Let's say you're doing green. Alright, but the colors you would use with green on the opposite side of green, its complement is red. But you're not going to use red. You're going to use the split complementary. So you would use the colors on each side of red. Red violet or red orange. Let me explain that again. Split complementary. You're using green. Opposite on the color scale of green is red, but you're not going to use red at all. You're going to use the colors on each side of red. Red orange. Okay. Or you would use the other one red violet. So split complementary makes a very interesting pictures also. They're pretty cool. Alright, you got the triad colors. Now those will be any three directly on the opposite side of the color wheel. Now a triad color would be like using three colors separated by like maybe 3 or 4 spaces on the color wheel. So for instance, let's bring this back up. Let me turn it to a way that you can see it. Okay. Split, what is it, triad color I said? Yeah, triad. Let's just say, let's bring it back up to old red here on top. Red is on the top. So, if you wanted a triad color using red, alright, you would use, actually let me bring this thing around here in the back. I would tell you exactly what you would use there. You would use red, blue, and yellow. Alright, they would be spaced right apart. I'll flip it around here. Put red on the top here. Okay. It's kind of tough for you probably to see it unless I zoom in real good. I have to put it at an angle. But you would use, see the triangle here? Red. See the other corner? That's yellow. The other corner over here? Blue. That's your triad color. You can use any color, but it would have to be spaced probably 4 apart. Because you got like 12 up here. Something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, you got 10. So they're spaced about 4 apart. And those are the colors that you would use. Okay. That would be a triad color. The tetrad color would be 4 colors on the wheel that are 2 sets of, they have 2 sets of complements. So it would be blue and orange with red and green. I'll say it again. It's a tetrad color scheme using a combination of 4 colors on the color wheel that have the 2 sets of complements. So with blue and orange complement, red and green complement. Okay. Many people probably use that and just don't even realize it or what it's called. Okay. I tend to try not to use a painting with just like red and blue and white. You end up with like a version of the flag or something like that. I try to stay away from colors like that. Every once in a while I'll end up doing a really colorful cloud scheme and end up having those colors in it, and I have to do something to get rid of that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It just disturbs me. I just don't like looking at it. That type of color makes, for me. Okay, I made a couple paintings like that, end up selling them. For some people it works. For me personally, it does not. I ended up doing it, I ended up selling them. Alright, but let's go on. I think I pretty much got all of them here. Okay, key color. Excuse me. Key color is also something that many beginning artists will do but don't realize they're doing it. It is the main color in your total painting. No matter what other colors you put in it, you always have a key color. Alright. That I do have I have paintings of key colors. I'll show you this one here if I can get it off of here. Nah, it's all taped up. But I do have, I'll take it off anyway. I do have one here. I did it back in my college days in the 90s. Early 90s, as a matter of fact. It was my my final project. Alright. Let's show it to you here. I know the lights are going to get to it a little bit. Alright, see this guy here? Main key color, obviously, is green. Or any variation thereof. Alright, yellow, green, whatever. But the key color is green. Even the reptile in there is a greenish brown. But that's the key color. I have blues in there, I got browns in there. Alright, yellow. But the key color that you see, the most dominant color, is a shade of green. Alright, for this guy. It's a shade of green. That's the key color. And that's what they're talking about when they talk about key color. Now I was putting it back up here. Alright. She'll stay. Alright. I have another one that's more recent that you probably more likely have seen on the boards here. The Night Sentinel, whatever I called him. This guy. Mr. Moose. Okay. This painting here. Remember this guy? The key color with this fellow is obviously green. I have to kind of show it to you without the glare of the light. Even though there's all sorts of colors happening here, purples and light blues and blue greens and yellows, but the main key component color of all of it in here is green. Now why is that? Green is green, alright, is in blue. Green is in brown. Okay. These mixtures are in colors that are related to each other, and they bring that sense of harmony and togetherness in there. Okay. Yes, green is in brown. You can have brown on the greenish side, brown on the reddish side. Okay, because both of those colors are in brown, the color brown. Alright. Brown is just a result of being a neutral type of color. Alright. You put white to a mixture of brown and it turns gray. Experiment with what I said on a palette and you'll see. Put blue and red together, blue and green together. Alright, mix it up, add a little white to it, and see what color it turns out to be. Alright, the old guy's correct. Alright, I got another painting, a little more recent, very recent. Since the time of this taping is recent. This gem here, alright, main key component color in this is still green, but it's got so much brown with the roof and such, okay, but it's all harmonious and it matches for the simple reason is that those colors that you see in here with red made this brown. It all coincides together. Alright, varying shades of green. Alright, the red with that green with white made this brown. Everything matches. Even the light source is nothing but a lighter color of green. Very, very saturated green, but it appears white because of the darkness around it. Alright. Some paintings that you might think have total white in it, it's not a stark white. It's got a mixture of whatever colors to tone it down so it's not so jarring. Alright, because if you take that painting and if I took actual white and put it on there, you can see it's not white, but your eyes will fool you into thinking that it's white because of the surrounding darkness around it. Same thing with black. I tend not to really use total black because black is such a strong, stark color once you put it in with whatever color you think represents black. I like to use a lot of cad red and phthalo blue, mix it in with a little sap green, make it as dark as I can, give the appearance of black even though it's not black. Alright, but it's just a softer form of black that coincides with everything else, and it's just not so strong and so pertinent. What I usually do is use a lot of that color and then end up using black as a frame, and you would see that it's not truly black. Okay. So many things you can do with color. Just experiment and have a ball with it. Have fun with it. I'll show you something about neutral colors with this thing. You've probably seen this on the board also. Alright, it's one of my tutorial paintings. But as you can see, the major key component to this thing is gray. Gray tones down everything. Gray, it complements everything. even with that stark yellowish orange red up top here, alright, it's still, even though your eye go to it, but it's just not glaring. It's very complementary to the whole painting. You follow me? And to add more attractiveness to it, I use the complete opposite of color wheel is color complement for the trees. The majority of this is red. Color complement to red is green, in which obviously I just put the trees in there. All right. The gray is nothing but a mix. I think it was a mix of the blue, red, and a little bit of white, and I just toned it down with that. As it dries, it gets darker, and it matches in with the coloration of the gray in the rocks. Okay, blue, the same thing, because the blue obviously is in the tone of gray that I use, so it all matches. Very harmonious. Even the foundation of the water, I used a purple, reddish purple mix. Alright, then put the water over it. As it dries, it settles in and mixes with the color that's underneath it. Everything is harmonious. Everything matches. Okay. And this guy here is the last one I'll show you before I turn off here. This one is about as almost near monochromatic as I can get, water-wise anyway. This one has a little bit of everything in it. This guy. Alright. This guy has just about every color in the water as it is in the clouds. Believe it or not. It's just I use more of the darker shade, but there's no black in there. No black. Okay. None at all. Alright. But I did use all the colors that you see in the clouds are also in the water. Even the bright stuff. Alright. It's in there. But everything is related in this piece. Okay. Everything in here is either related to blue or it's complement. Alright. That's why they're in there. I got the oranges, the yellow oranges in with the blue purples. And with the blue purples I got a little bit of the red in there. Even the highlights of the water, it's not stark blatant white. It's got blue in it. I got green in there. I got all sorts of stuff working in here. Even the brown is a mixture of purple and yellow. That's all. Okay. Maybe toned down with a little bit of the dark blue as a glaze. But other than that, everything matches. Everything works with this thing. Okay. But as you get more and more into your art quest and more into painting and more into colors, maybe something I said sparked your curiosity, but the first thing to do really is to purchase one of these things, read it, check it out, look at it, and you'll be fascinated. Okay, you can take a painting that you like, redo it and maybe in an analogous color tone or a complementary color tone, triad colors, and you'll see the difference. Okay, do it in shades and tints and tones or whatever, and you'll see the difference in your artwork and your art as you experiment and go forth into your little art journey. I hope I didn't go too fast. I hope I didn't mumble my words too much for you to get lost in what I'm saying. If you have any questions, write it on the board on the YouTube channel there. Write it there, or go to my Facebook page. Write the question there. I'm pretty accessible. I'll answer you back. I got so many notifications that did let me know that you wrote me back, and I'll write you back as fast as I can. All right. And that's it. Thank you for this little one-on-one about color. I hope I explained it clearly to you. Any questions, once again, let me know. And I hope to hear from you soon. Take care of yourself, and happy painting.